And welcome back to our live coverage of the 2012 Mackinac Policy Conference. Joining me right now to sit down at the big desk here with our coverage from myvote.org is Sandy Baruah. He's the president of the Detroit Regional Chamber, of course, puts on the policy conference every year. And Nancy Schlichting, she's the CEO of Henry Ford Health System, but she is also the conference chair this year. So welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
So, what's it been like to walk through the doors? No, it's finally on and everyone is here.
You know, it's exciting every year, but this year is especially exciting because we're really building on the changes that we made last year. One of the key changes we made is this partnership with Detroit Public Television that has really taken the veil off of the conference. I mean, how many times have you heard people say, oh, I don't know what goes on up there and it really doesn't matter to me? With, you know, our partnership with Detroit Public Television, now any person essentially in Michigan can go through their public television station or your website or our website and either watch broadcast live or see it streaming live. So the veil has come off the conference. We love it.
Well, we want to make sure that everyone's able to see what goes on here. And for people who maybe aren't too familiar with the conference, Nancy, what was important for you to have as a part of this conference this year? What do you want to accomplish as the chair?
One of the themes that I really wanted to come across was inclusion across the state in terms of all parts of the state really involved and participating. We wanted to include all age groups, young entrepreneurs, as well as more seasoned champions of our state who were here with us. And we really wanted the focus on innovation and collaboration and 21st century global market positioning.
Sandy, you have the business leaders here, you have politicians here, you have CEOs here. What do you expect some of the big headlines to come out of these next 3 days?
Well, I think one, I hope the governor kind of takes this opportunity, and we've worked very closely with the governor on the creating of this conference, take a victory lap. I mean, he and the legislature have done a great job in a very short period of time, really repositioning Michigan and making it much more economically competitive in the global marketplace. So let's take a victory lap there, but also let's look forward. Let's figure out what's next for us. Where do we go now? Michigan has gone from essentially dead last in tax and business friendliness to about mid-pack. The governor, ourselves, and others want to take that to a top 10 status. So where do we go from here?
Of course, the Detroit Regional Chamber puts this on, and we are talking about statewide issues, but there is so much focus this year, I think, Nancy, on Detroit and helping the city revitalize the financial crisis they're going through right now. As the CEO of Henry Ford Health Systems, how important has the business community been in terms of making partnerships and working with city government to try to revitalize some areas of downtown and some neighborhoods going forward?
I think it's been essential. It's been very exciting to see what's happening in both Midtown and downtown in Detroit, and businesses are stepping forward. They're not waiting for all the financial challenges in Detroit to be solved. And I think they're also partnering with the city in ways to really encourage the kind of, hopefully, agreement on things that have to happen over the next several years. But it's very exciting right now. A lot of entrepreneurs, young and old, and a lot of anchor businesses that are really stepping forward.
Exciting, I think also unprecedented, Sandy. I mean, how would you gauge this year in terms of Detroit's revitalization or the road to revitalization in terms of years past?
We're at a really unique time in Detroit's history. One, there's so many good things happening, like what Henry Ford is doing, like what Quicken is doing, like what Blue Cross Blue Shield is doing to drive, you know, the community redevelopment and job creation in Detroit. That's hugely important. But that is against the backdrop of all the good things that are happening statewide, you know, kind of resetting the table at the state. Those are huge competitive advantages that we go into the global marketplace with. The kind of remaining challenges, Nancy said, is what are the challenges left in the city structure. And so, you know, you're going to see a lot of focus on that, but as Nancy kind of said, and I'll paraphrase, business finds a way. Kind of like nature finds a way, business finds a way, and you're seeing that more and more in the city of Detroit because they see the opportunity.
What are some of the conversations that you're looking forward to having here, Nancy? Because that's the neat part about this, is you can kind of bump into people and turn around. Maybe you haven't seen them in a while, and it generates some interesting conversation. Who do you think you'd like to have a couple words with?
Well, you know, obviously the governor, his leadership is being felt. It's essential to the future. I'm looking forward to seeing our mayors, you know, of various communities. I'm looking forward to seeing business leaders who are making a difference, and our sponsors who really make this conference happen. So I want to say a lot of thank yous and a lot of go for it. A lot of encouragement.
A lot of amazing work going into this effort. So Sandy, kind of give us a rundown of the highlights of some of the speakers and some of the things that we can expect.
First, let's talk, you know, the governor's going to take a central role. He's going to kick us off. He's going to deliver a keynote. He's going to be involved in lots of events that are taking place in association with this conference. Fareed Zakaria from CNN and Time Magazine. Tom Friedman, the best-selling author and New York Times columnist. Bill Ford and Ralph Giles and Roger Penske kind of representing our automotive base. We've got young entrepreneurs, people like Rick DeVos and Josh Linkner, partner, bringing that kind of new entrepreneurship and that kind of new social entrepreneurship to the conference. We've got former Health and Human Services Secretary Michael Levitt talking about the future of healthcare reform and how the private sector can actually impact the quality and cost of healthcare. So it's going to be a substantive conference. There's not going to be a lot of breaks. There's not going to be a lot of time to kind of do other things. In fact, one of the best compliments we got is that there's no time to play golf anymore up at this conference.
No lazing around up here. Talk to me just then real quick about, I think, the mood here and the vibe. Last year you said, well, the mood is more uplifted than it was even the year before. Do you think that there is more of this encouraging spirit that, gosh, things are happening here, the unemployment rate has gone down just a little bit, businesses are starting to spend more, that we're a little bit on a roll here, the mood is a little bit better?
Michigan is improving its economy faster than just about any other state in the nation. That is hugely encouraging. And you look at the auto industry, you look at our IT industry, you look at our healthcare industry, you look at our new entrepreneurs that are really kind of doing new and creative things. It has been huge. So our unemployment rate is now very rapidly approaching the national average. Yes, they're both too high, but we're making more progress than anybody else. That says something.
Okay, Nancy, real quick, what would you tell 3 things to look for our viewers who are watching at home or maybe aren't too familiar, but this is the first time that they're getting to be in on the process of the Mackinac Policy Conference? 3 things that they should look for.
Well, I think, first of all, it's the public-private partnership. So we are a policy conference. Very important that we continue to have those kind of discussions about how to work together. I think, secondly, it's the fact that we need to include everyone in the solution. It's about healthcare, it's about education, it's about the automotive industry, it's about all businesses, small and large. And I also think it's about how we relate to each other, how we work together. A lot of our problem is up here. We still think we're sometimes victims in this state, and we're not. We can step forward, we can make a difference, everybody can count.
No victims here. All right, last question, and it's a very hard one that you probably have had to study for. Favorite kind of fudge?
You said there'd be no math.
All right, sorry. Favorite kind of fudge? Favorite flavor?
I vote for the Grand Hotel's own fudge.
Ooh, very good. Favorite kind? Rocky Road?
I like Michigan walnut. Really good.
Very good. We'll have to do some fudge tasting here the next time people stop by the desk. I think that'll be a good one.
I'll be back then.
All right, that's the only reason you'll be back. Okay. Sandy Baruah and Nancy Schlichting, thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations on kicking off the conference. It's going to be a good one, and we are so glad that we are with you in the journey.
We're thrilled to have your partnership.
Appreciate
it's fantastic.
And we're thrilled that you're watching us. You are watching My Vote Mackinac.